Man, so that is without a doubt one of the best fights I have ever seen in my entire life. Now, I'm not just talking about men's fighting. I'm not just talking about women's fighting. I'm not just talking about MMA or just about boxing or what I saw on the street underneath the bridge with two bums. Like, no, I'm not talking. There are no qualifiers. There is nothing to put this inside of a smaller box. I'm just making the most general, basic statement possible. It's one of the best fights I ever saw in my life. Like, man, that was awesome. Both of those women showed up and they came for business. Right? Clearly, Joanna showed up and she was like, I'm not on my last leg. I don't got too many miles on the odometer. This girl isn't going to show me up. She's not the future. I'm coming back to take my belt. And she tried as hard as she possibly could. Zhang Weili shows up and she said, I don't care what you've done in the past. I'm the future of the division. Let me show you how things are going from here on out. Right? Woo, man, that was a good fight. That was a good fight. That was one of those fights where it sounds like a cliche, but there were no losers. Really, literally, there were no losers. Both of those women, their stock went through the roof. Now, it's true, Zhang Weili actually left with the belt. Joanna didn't. She earned the loss on the official record books. However, both of their stocks went up. Both of them are viewed better in the eyes of the organization. Both of them are viewed better in the eyes of the fans. I mean, how can you not? How can you not with both what they both brought to the table? Both showed that they were tough as nails. Both showed that they had zero quit in them. Both showed that they were willing to do whatever it took in the fight to win. Both had showed that they prepared incredibly well and took their training camp seriously. Particularly Zhang Weili, having to leave China, go to Thailand, then having to leave Thailand, go to Dubai, then having to go from Dubai over to the United States just to be able to make it because of all the stuff that was going on with the coronavirus. Like, that's out of control, man. And she still persevered through all of that. Like, she had never been 5 rounds before. We were concerned about whether or not her cardio was going to stand up. She passed every test with flying colors. Every single one. And her striking looked better than ever. You know, she still had some of the flaws that I identified in the pre-fight analysis. She still had some of them. She was getting caught with a lot of the right hands from Joanna, particularly right away in the first round. You know, so she still got some stuff she needs to work on. But her punches were straighter than they had ever been. She was quicker than she had ever been. Her punches were sharp. Her timing was on point. The key that carried the day for her was being able to close that distance quickly and effectively and land the 1-2. I mean, that right hand that she caught Joanna with, I think it was like the 3rd round on the forehead that gave her the hematoma. She just blitzed her. It was just stepped right in, bang, bang, and landed that right hand and caused damage that had Joanna looking like the Elephant Man. You know, that left hook that had her nose turn a corner. I think in the 5th round, woo, brutal. She was in there. She was landing the harder shots for sure. Now, it was a disputed decision. There's a lot of people who thought Joanna won. I mean, probably the most famous being Conor McGregor. Tweets out after the fight something like to the effect of awesome fight, wrong decision, or incorrect decision, or something like that. And that's cool. Everybody knows in the pre-fight I ended up taking Joanna. I gave her like a 55% chance to win. I actually dropped that down to 50-50. But it was still the bet to take because she was the underdog. So I lost that bet. Whatever, doesn't matter. My analysis was actually correct on that, and I feel great about it. You know, she was able to land the shots that she was able to land. That I said, like particularly that overhand right. Zhang Weili kept her head on the center line, kept her chin up a little bit, back kind of straight out, so she was able to get caught with things. But Weili looked better than ever, man. She came out there, and I gave her the fight. I gave her 3 rounds or 2, particularly because she landed the harder shots. I thought Joanna, the work she did at times was a little bit cleaner. She outstruck her at times. She dictated the way she wanted the fight to go a little bit more than Weili did, but Weili landed those harder shots and hurt her. I don't know if it was the 2nd round or if it was the 3rd round. She caught her with a right hand that I was absolutely shocked Joanna didn't get dropped. She stepped in, and it was like Joanna and Weili both stepped in at the same time, and Weili just threw this right hand that, I mean, honestly, I don't know if people remember this fight, but it reminded me of a right hand that Marco Antonio Barrera threw against Juan Manuel Marquez when they fought. He caught him, and it was just, everything was lined. It was like the stars were aligned perfectly, right? It was like both fighters were stepping in, and he just threw this right hand perfectly that just caught him directly on the chin, right? Same thing with Weili and Joanna, and just caught him directly on the chin. Now, Joanna didn't drop. Marquez actually hit the ground, I believe. Maybe put a glove down or something like that. I don't remember exactly. But it was, I mean, that punch that she threw, I couldn't even believe that Joanna was still standing after that one. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. So where do we go from here? Like I said, both fighters, both of their stocks rose. You know, we've got a rematch between Rose Namajunas and Jessica Andrade. My guess is the winner of that fight is going to get the next title shot. That'd be my guess. For Joanna, man, it's tough. I mean, what's she gonna do? I actually wouldn't have her fight. If I was her and if I was the organization, I wouldn't agree to fight the loser of Rose and Jessica Andrade. If she really wanted to stay on the path and try to end up getting another title shot, continue to improve her legacy, continue to challenge herself, you know who I'd actually like to see her fight would be Tatiana Suarez. I think she's on the come up, grappling specialist. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Both of these ladies, man, my hat's off. Could not have been more impressed. Could not have been better. It'll be interesting to see what happens with the both of them as time goes on. So love to hear what you think. Leave it in the comments below. Sound off on it. Like I said before, it was so impressive, the performance that both of them put on. They both competed at the absolute highest level. Both showed that they have everything that it takes. It's just unfortunate that they're both in the same division because both these women deserve belts. But there's only one belt, right? There can only be one. Or to switch that up a little bit, there can be only one, right? So, but it'll be interesting to see what happens to both of them next. It really will. Of course, after taking some time off, because that fight was brutal. So, like I said, let me know what you think, and stay tuned so we can see what happens with both of them.